Good day everyone, how are you all doing? This is Yixit at Magna Crypto, back again with another video. In today's video we're going to be looking at Bitcoin's price action as always, but we're going to be looking at some very important updates from Polkadot, from Cardano and from Kava. So let's run the intro and get this show on the road. Some housekeeping first of all. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, like this video, smash that like button, would very much appreciate that. And also if you're new to crypto and you want to learn the fundamental skills in the market to get started straight away, got a free course, link for that is in the description. And also I run a private Telegram group where I give more regular insight, a lot of technical analysis, chart work on different cryptocurrencies. So link for that is also in the description. With that out of the way, let's get straight into the market. Let's first have a little glance at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, the likes, and then get into the updates. So first and foremost, Bitcoin actually rallied quite nicely in the last, in those 2 days, from a low of 30,000 all the way back up to almost 40,000. Well, it hit 40,000, but it was not able to close above that. Since then, it's rejected and it's created a counter trend line. And with this counter trend line with this trend line and the top counter trend line, it seems to be forming an ascending triangle. It's very obvious, very clear. And you've also got an ascending trend line with these two, or even three, these wicks. So it's leaning upwards. I mean, if it continues like this, I would be leaning on, the bullish side as we are in a bull run. So it's unlikely that we'll go to the downside. We may get some further wicks. As you can see, this seems to be a valid trend line. So we might get a wick below this candle trend line down to here, maybe 32,000, somewhere along this line. But it's unlikely now how price is continuing that will get a massive wick to the downside to the 20s. It's looking more unlikely now, but of course it's still possible. We'll have to see as time goes on. At this very moment it's forming a symmetrical triangle, and we know that this is a continuation pattern. So if this is complete, then we'll see a breakout to the upside and a continuation of the prior trend, which was upwards. So let's see how that continues on. Next, let's have a look at XRP. It's been acting it's been quite low on the volatility scale, only moving between 32 and 29 cents. So on the 4 hourly, it still looks, it looks like it's invalidated that head and shoulder, that being the left shoulder, head and head. And now it's just crawling to the side. It leads me to imagine that we will probably break below this support level and then retest that next trend line at 22 cents. So it's looking more bearish, I would say, for XRP. See, there's a trend line in play. There might be a counter trend line in play, but it's looking more bearish. The price action is looking quite depressed. It might need to go lower to search for more liquidity, but XRP is not looking too good to be honest. Actually, there might be a trend line in play over here. So there could be a trend line in play over here, as you can see, but if that is the case, then it's starting to break below that. So let's keep an eye on that, but I would be leaning on the bearish side with XRP. Ethereum, it's obviously bounced back from the correction quite well, almost nearing the previous highs. So it's been doing very well. It isn't in a clear symmetrical triangle as Bitcoin, but we're gonna have to wait and give it some time for it to form something, another pattern. We can trace this low and see if it becomes relevant as time goes on. So Ethereum, if you move to the 4 hourly, it looks like it's in a bit of a consolidation area. So you've got this straight line acting as support, about 1040, and then you've got this straight line acting as resistance. And you can clearly see this trend line that's in play as well within those two regions. If we break below this trend line, I think that we could revisit that support level at 1042 in that kind of area, potentially even lower. It may do this to pick up some more liquidity, but if it holds and breaks above, we might see another attempt at the all-time high and beyond. But let's keep a close eye on Ethereum as it continues. Link has been doing very, very well in the last few days, even from that point at the beginning of the year. Since that level, it's actually gone up about 68%. At the moment, it looks like it wants to test the all-time high once again at around $20 and some change. You can see it's really, really kept within this channel, only small breakouts in between, but it's really maintained this channel very well. If it continues to stay within the channel, then we may see a rejection of that top trend line acting on resistance and going down to about $13, $14. It's potential. If it closes above that, we definitely will see a retest of that all-time high and potentially beyond. This could be a massive U-shaped, somewhat correction during, from that all-time high. It could be accumulating all this extra, liquidity and whatnot. A lot of people are talking about Link, or have been in the last few months. So people could have been buying a lot in this area, ready to explode to the upside, to the $20, $20, $30 and beyond. So let's see. If it closes above, then I'll start becoming a lot more bullish on Link. And as well, looking at the Bitcoin pairing, I'll just show you this quickly. The Bitcoin pairing as well, which I've mentioned previously, is looking pretty good as well. It's forming that reversal pattern, and so if it breaks above and then breaks above that major resistance level, we could see a proper a Link bull run. So pay attention to this Bitcoin pairing and also to Link. Now let's move over to Polkadot, Cardano and Kava. So firstly, just a small update on Polkadot. It's nothing really major, but an observation even, not an update. And this is a post on Polkadot's Twitter, and it's a quote from Plasm Network. And I'll be honest, I haven't looked into Plasm Network, but it's a parachain, right? So they've deployed their first parachain on Rococo version 1. Right, as I said, I haven't looked into the project, but it's an important observation. Their highest priority in 2021 is to become a Polkadot parachain and build a dApp hub on Polkadot. Today we became the first parachain on Rococo version 1. So the observation is, it's the highest priority to become Polkadot. And this is coming from a project. And that is the mentality for a lot of projects. They want to build on Polkadot, right? And they are building on Polkadot. Many of projects are currently working very hard to get onto the platform. And this reminds me of the popularity and still popularity of Ethereum, and how so many developers want to be on Ethereum, are building on Ethereum, want to build dApps on Ethereum, everything about Ethereum. It was such a hot project. It's still hot, but back in 2016, 2017, and that's why it went on such a monster run, because it was so popular for developers building projects on Ethereum. Obviously, of course, the token becomes that much more important, that much more valuable. And this is, reminding me of what Polkadot are doing right now. All these projects want to build on Polkadot. The number is endless, and it will continue to come out with projects. This is only the beginning, of, as it said, this is the first parachain on Rococo version 1. So this will only continue more projects will be building, and thus the Polkadot network will increase in value, and thus the token will increase in value. So, there's much more to come from Polkadot. We're very excited about project, and of course the value will continue to rise. Speaking of the value of Polkadot, it's absolutely exploded. I did mention that in a previous video that it was forming an inverted ascending scallop formation right here. This looks like an inverted J, upside down and then flipped, and it's literally textbook done that. As mentioned, I've been reading the book, getting started in what's the name of the book? This book right here, Chart Patterns by Thomas Bulkowski, and it talks about the inverted scallop. It's a chart pattern, very easy to observe. You got the nice rounding top and then increase. So it may just do this again. It may just round again, retrace maybe up to 50% and do the same thing. It's currently retracing. It got up to about $15 and it's going down. So we'll have to see. It may continue on. Price predictions, I think, of course, $20 will be reached. Maybe soon, maybe next few weeks, maybe next few months, who knows? But that will be reached very soon. I think potentially we could get as high as $50, I think, at this rate. This would be definitely a long-term target, $50. It may get up to 45, who knows? We'll have to see as it goes on. This kind of chart pattern may slow down and we may just go to about $30. But $50 is a high target. I think it's possible for Polkadot. Okay, moving on to Cardano. Again, I've mentioned this in the previous cover of Cardano. I love these kind of Renaissance, whatever paintings, this theme that it's got, with the different stages in the development of Cardano. Currently, we are at or about to enter Goguen. Goguen. This is a difficult name. Goguen. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But that's where we are heading towards or have reached. So let's read this article quickly. So we haven't reached that yet, sorry. So it's being reached in March. My apologies. So, and it's since the 7th of October, it's surged over 100%. And that's due to the announcement of this update. So this will be where functional smart contracts are set to be integrated for March. And they'll be able to produce enterprise grade smart contracts, and it'll be easy to actually produce them, and there's a very detailed explanation about this in here. So if you want to read that, go ahead and read that. But the main thing is they'll be bringing smart contract integration to the network, but not only that, it will be enterprise grade, so obviously very high level, and they're going to make it easy for financial applications to be produced without needing deep coding knowledge. So the barrier to entry, they're making that lower, but still it's enterprise grade. So very, very important upgrade, and that is set to be coming out in March, so in about 2 months. So the pump so far could have been, it definitely had something to do with this. However, if we're talking about hype, then that won't be it. It's still going to pump more if it's due to the hype of this update. You can see here it's forming potentially a tight flag or a pennant formation. So definitely there's going to be a lot more to come from Cardano, just from this update, but for this year, as it's producing more developments, as it continues its roadmap. So I've got high hopes for Cardano as well. As you can see, we are almost at the all-time high. We've basically touched it. Once we get above this, it's going to be price discovery. and then $5, $10. We wouldn't be looking at those kind of numbers. It's a beautiful pattern here. This rounding bottom, absolutely beautiful. And once we break free from this resistance, it's gonna be straight to the moon. What it looks like. Not financial advice. So that's ADA, that's Cardano. Last but not least, we have Kava. So this is their roadmap for 2021. What I mainly look for, obviously, we are approaching the first quarter. I think the first quarter of the year, or the last quarter. I'm not sure financial. Let me Google. Okay, so we're in the first quarter. To confirm that. So yeah, so we're still in the first quarter. I'll get into the end of this, but we're about to reach Kava 5 or stage 5. And once we finish this, the main thing that they're adding is hard protocol borrowing and enhanced governance, optimized Kava base layer for greater throughput, and enhanced Kava cloud infrastructure for increased services performed. The main thing that I think that I'm looking at is over here, which will come potentially near the peak or coming up to the peak of this bull run, the year of El Toro, and that is Ethereum bridge. Once that's launched, this enables onboarding of native ETH, ERC20 tokens like Link and DAI. Big upgrade, and that's coming up, from July to October, as I said, coming up to the peak, give or take. And then from November until February 2022, I will be fully trustless Bitcoin bridge. So onboarding native BTC and some other upgrades, enhancements. So basically coming up to this area, I think Kava is going to keep going up and up and up. Let's have a look at the actual price action of Kava, because it's actually done pretty well today. So this long-term trend line that was forming, you can see it much easier on the daily time frame. It's now, well, it hasn't closed yet, but it's looking to close above that long-term trend line, and it's at a very important resistance level, hence why it's rejecting. But once it gets above this, the next price targets will be about $2.80, and this area over here will be in the next region of consolidation. So you can see clearly this resistance area, and it's looking to get above that. It's looking to push above that, and it's having a great 12% day. And the Fibonacci setup is still in play. So let's see as time goes on. It just needs to push, close above this, and we're in the next area of consolidation. But Kava's roadmap is looking very good, so I think this is very achievable. Definitely back to all-time high and then beyond. So I'm very bullish on Kava, bullish on Cardano, bullish on Polkadot. All great projects. I'd say the one that stands out the most at the moment is Polkadot, because it's got that Ethereum-like effect. It's got developers very hungry to build projects on Polkadot. And when you've got this, you attract so much value from those developers with the innovation coming with it. And it's got potential to really get past Ethereum, because it's got all these, the added advantage of time and not making the same mistakes. So it's really lining up to have a stellar 2021 year of El Toro, hence why I'm holding. So that'll be it for this video. Hope you got some value from that, and see you in the next video. Peace.